Славниот шкотски бенд Тексас, кој што до 2018 година има продадено албуми во 40 милионски тиражи и зад себе има неверојатни 13 синглови што се најдоа во престижната UK Top 10 листа и 8 албуми на британската Top 10, вклучувајќи го и последниот студиски албум Jump on the Board, кој е издаден во мај 2017 година. Оваа есен одржаа концерти во Скопје, што воедно е првиот концерт во земјава. Енергична, со моќен вокал, силна, непосредна, вокалистката и коосновачка на групата Шарлин Спитери, заедно со своите момци не награди со врвно музичко задоволство во форма како од 80-тите години, кога ги бележеа најголемите успеси. Она што е најинтересно за нас е тоа дека токму ние од Astroroom ја имавме ексклузивната можност да го имаме единственото интервју за македонски медиуми со Шарлин. А нашето прво прашање за неа, знаејќи како бендот Тексас го добил името, беше од каде потекнува нејзиното лично име.
My grandmother's French, grandfather's Maltese, and my mother's side, my grandfather's Norwegian, and my grandmother's Irish.
Great, so that's why you're so talented and very good combination. Okay, so where do you find this motivation to be good with the audience, with the media after all these years on the stage?
With the audience, I mean, the audience is something different to the media. The media, you know, you meet some nice people, but it doesn't really, it's something that I do. Sometimes it's not very enjoyable. Sometimes it's really good fun. It's like anything. But the audience is something different. The audience is something. These are the people that allow me to do what it is I want to do. They allow me to fulfill my dream. Because without the people that buy the records and buy the tickets and everything, then there would be no Texas, basically. So yeah, I love being on stage. I love performing. I like making records, writing. That's what I do.
It's very stupid in the 21st century to talk about feminism and a girl as a frontman, but back then, in the 80s, it was very a lot of bands, various styles. It wasn't easy to be on the top.
To be first off, using the word feminism, what the feminists did for women, how they changed their lives forever, is something very special. But I think using the word feminism in 2018 is so out of date. I don't need to be called a feminist. I'm just a woman. I don't need another name. We don't have that name for men. We have another name for men that goes along with them because they're strong. They're just men. So why do I need another name? Feminism was a movement. I'm just a woman and I live in a world that women, we've fought hard and we have to be very good at what we do to succeed. And I think we should remember that at this moment in time, because it's very important that as women that we are put in the places because we're great at what we do, not just because we're women. That's the most important thing for me.
And what about the success in 80s, 90s? It wasn't easy.
No, and it's still not easy. It's still not easy. It's just better hidden, That's all it is. It's not, everybody seems to like to think, oh, it's changed. But it's just, it's just more underground. It's better hidden because people have to be very, very aware of it. You can't make the comments and you can't say the things. I remember when I first signed to my record company, I called some dodgy boiler, which is like such a derogatory term to someone. And certain things happen and you're treated in a certain way. And you don't forget. You do not forget.
It's not rare that one band can join together after so many years, but this is a rare case where you have a successful solo career and after that again with the same band. How it happened to
the solo album was really, for me, it was just a project that I really needed to do because I had split with the father of my daughter, and there was a certain feeling and a very definite mood that I wanted to express, and it wasn't a sound or a mood that Texas would do. You know, when we go to make records, we make the records like everybody kind of, you know, what do you think? Does this sound good? We do drums like this, the guitar should be like this, or something. I don't like this, it should be more like this. It was a very gentle, feminine sound that I wanted to create, because there was something I had to say to be able to make the next Texas record. So that was why that record was made.
Mm-hmm. You're all the time in so-called mainstream, and you're such a good singer. I remember like a song, "Baby, I've been missing you." You can sing blues, you can sing jazz, soul, everything. Did you have a decent proposal to change the course, to do something else?
You know, I've just been really lucky that through my parents that I was brought up with a lot of different music, and I love music, and I don't have any, you know, there's some music that I don't particularly like, but that's just a personal taste. I don't have any, there isn't anything that I won't listen to. You know, like I like, you know, I love being introduced to new music and new sounds. And that's what I enjoy. That really inspires me to write and to make music. And I never really think about, I don't really think about that there's any barriers for us as a band, and when we make music, I just think, yeah, this is what we're going to do, and why shouldn't we? You know, I've never thought, oh, that's not our sound. I just like, no, that's what we're going to do.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about the nowadays music? Did we lost somewhere the melody? You named your solo album Melody. You stick to the melody because people want to sing special.
I think music
feelings.
I think music goes through different periods. You know, always does, and certain things, technology takes over at points sometimes with like, whereas the production and the sound of what's happening is bigger than the melody. You know, people use computers now to edit and cut things up. You know, sampling became something else as well. And sometimes, you know, it'll grow, it'll come back again, because melody and words will always come back, because that's what people recognize in the song. That's the thing that makes their heart beat faster. That's the thing that makes it become their story and not just the writer's story. You know, people hear something and they relate to what someone said. You could have 20 people in a room, play one song and say to each person, what do you think the song's about? And they'll all tell you something different, because they'll think of something that reflects them. And that's why music is so widespread and why it appeals to so many different people from so many different walks of life. It's such an amazing thing, music. You know, when I listen to other people's music, it's my song, because when they say something, I put all the faces and the people and everything into the story that I know, and that's when it becomes my song.
One of your albums are you give an audience an vinyl, vinyl tape, a CD. Why is that? Do you think it's a kind of nostalgia that people will buy a tape, or it's really something in the sound?
There is an element in the sound, but it's also something that's, you know, it's like for us, especially a band that started in the 80s, you know, to have a cassette is something really fun. And also quite a few of us in the band drive old cars, so they still have the tape decks in them. So, you know, sometimes you want to have a tape for your car, and
that's really
it's just
nice.
It's just a bit of fun.
I won't ask you how is to be hugged by Alan Rickman on Jean Reno, but it's very strange to me, a collaboration with Rammstein, because I consider you as a gentle, mainstream girl and stick to your own style. And how comes?
Well, we've done, we did, before we did Rammstein, we did the collaboration with the Wu-Tang Clan as well, which people were just like, and then that, I think whenever you do something, it's to do something that excites you. And when Rammstein, when Thiel from Rammstein called me, I just thought, I knew the band and I knew the sound, and it's very hard and very strong. And I thought I thought the combination, because it was so opposite, was really interesting. So I thought, and it's like anything, when you do something like that, you can, if it doesn't work, you can be like, well, it doesn't sound any good, you don't put it out. But when we did it, we were like, this sounds really, really good. He's really hard, and then my voice comes in on top, very soft and gentle. And I just thought it was just such a good combo that was why we went with it.
Uh-huh. And this business is very cruel, we must admit, but you are very relaxed, because I saw somewhere an interview that you say, I don't want to, you don't want to torture yourself with fitness or something, and it's very strange to hear, because you cannot recognize makeovers, people are doing everything just to be in the business, but that's not the case.
But I'm good at what I do. That's a big difference. There's a big difference when you can do the job that you're supposed to be doing. The first thing, I don't care what you see when you look. Obviously I get up and I try to make myself presentable and whatever, and I'm interested in fashion, and I used to work as a hairdresser, and so I'm interested in stuff like that. But for me, I know I can sing and play an instrument, and I can just, in 2 minutes, I can get you in a minute, So for me, that's why I'm comfortable with who I am, because I'm very comfortable with what I do. It's like, that is what, what I am is a songwriter, singer, musician, and I'm very capable of doing that. So I don't need to hide it with anything else. I don't need to deviate from it.
And when you talk about your parents, you're shining, because the genes are from there. Your mother, your father, he was playing guitar, she was singing, etc. Can you remember the first vibration when you were like stunning by music, your role models maybe?
I grew up in a family that, we'd go to my grandparents' house and you'd sing every weekend at home, and all the cousins and my aunts and uncles, everyone sang. That was just the way I grew up. So it was really funny, because when I became a musician, that was when it was stranger, because I wasn't one of the kids that stood out. A cousin of mine used to sing this really old traditional song about a mother who dies and leaves a child behind, and comes back from heaven and visits the child. And I remember all my aunts used to be sitting and when my cousin was doing this song. And I remember I'd be standing like going, this is a really shit song, like thinking, get off. And then I'd go to do my song, and I'd go up and I'd sing, like some country song or something. Mm-hmm. And they would all go make tea, and I would be like, oh, okay, goodbye. Mm-hmm. So it's funny that I'm the one that became the musician.
You have a teenage daughter.
Yes.
So how do you teach her how to live, and when you're gonna say, okay, I'm happy that she's okay, she's satisfied? Is she talented for music?
Yeah, she's a very good musician, but she doesn't want to do music. She's a really good writer. She writes a lot, and the music she's into K-pop, the Korean pop music. She loves this. I'm probably very strict as a parent. I like her to be independent. I like her to know that there's choices out there in the world for her. She has to be very definite about what she says. She has to know that what she says has consequences. And that's just, you know, that's the way I bring up my daughter. You know, I'm like, you're in a very lucky position in life. There's not many people, you know, I did not grow up the way you grew up, you're growing up. So I guess she has to, for me, it's very important that she understands how lucky she is. And I just, you know, I just hope she grows up to be a good, kind human being. That's all, for me, that's all I care about, and that she's happy, you know.
Did you reach that a level when you can say, okay, now I will make a music even if I go wrong, or to experiment? And
oh God, yeah. I mean, we've made records that people didn't like. We've made records that were just, you know, we made them and that was where we were at that moment in time. You know, we don't always get it right. You know, if you got it right all the time, there's got to, you know, any bands that are successful a long, long time, it's kind of like this. The art is when it goes like this, that you've got to be able to come back up, and that's the skill.
When was the hardest period of your musical?
The hard period was probably round about 91, and then that maybe a bit later, because when the whole sort of, you know, when that whole Manchester sound thing started, the sort of that real Britpop thing, because we were not part of that, and then we came right on the end of it, and that's when we released Say What You Want in '97. And became more successful than we'd ever been.
It's familiar why the name band is Texas, but how come your favorite place is Paris? Where do you wanna play?
But
Paris in Glasgow.
There's been a massive love story with France since the beginning of Texas. It was the first European territory that we broke. You know, it was the first territory we broke outside the UK, and that was, you know, for us that was the.
Somebody's coming.
Excuse me. Yes. Oh, okay, cool. No problem.
Okay, sorry. We will ending up the conversation, sorry. So, okay. And why journalists always ask what did you do in the past, what did you do then, back then, at the 80s? Why then they don't ask what are you doing now, because you are not planning to stop with the career. You're now musically mature, so we expect something.
I don't know about that. I don't know if I'm musically mature. I don't know if I'm mature, full stop. In my mind, I'm still like 18.
That's good.
Yeah, it's good. My knees are not so young, but my brain's still young. You know, I don't know why people don't ask. It's just, you know, we're not ready to stop at the moment.
So about, just tell me about the tastes. Can you see maybe the audience in Macedonia is different than the other? Why you were so successful in France, for example, than the other countries? And
I have no idea. I mean, if I knew that, I would be making a lot more money than making music, because if I had that knowledge, I'd be selling it to everybody. I don't know why. I mean, we're very lucky that, you know, we have so many, you know, there's not many bands break a lot of territories outside the UK, and we've been really lucky that we have. As far as, you know, playing to an audience in Macedonia, I don't know what to expect. But I don't know what to expect even if I walk out on stage in Glasgow, which is the city I'm from, because you never, you know, you're hoping it's going to be really good, but it's just that moment you walk on and it's like, okay, here we go. and then the audience decides where it's going to go from there.
Do people recognize your honesty on the stage? Because I don't know, that you cannot act that you are honest
I
to
know.
the
I think people know that it's. I hope people can see how much we love it. You know, I really, truly do love what I do. I have a lot of fun up there.
Okay, thank you very much for this conversation.
Thank you.
Have a nice concert, and I hope we will see you once more, maybe.
I'll be back. Hopefully you're going to see the concert and people are going to enjoy it, and then you will invite us back.
Okay,
Fingers crossed.
Oh, we have a present for you.
Oh wow.
Because it's funny, but we work for a publishing company, and this is the show. We make interviews in a bookstore, but
okay, that's
because of you,
nice.
we came here. We invited you there, but
So it's
just to
books?
remember
Oh, wow,
books in
cool.
English from Macedonian author, and you have a T-shirt inside from Skopje, and so I hope you like it. Again, Paris.
Wow, cool, thank you. That is very kind. What's in
Okay.
here?
It's a present. You
Can I open it?
yes, of course.
I love presents. Oh wow, that's so cool. Nice, I love a notebook.
Uh-huh.
Fridge
So-
magnet.
Would you read? I never asked you.
What do I read?
Because you're a very good songwriter.
I read a lot of different things, and I read a lot of comics. You know, like Neil Gaiman. Neil Gaiman comics. I read a lot of I love Neil Gaiman. He writes books as well. He's just done some fantastic. He just did a brilliant book on Norse gods, which I really like. I read a lot of. I read fiction. I read a lot of biographies. I like to read a lot, and you know, I do have a lot of books. A lot of books.
So
A lot of music
it's
and
helpful
a lot
for
of
the
music
art.
and a lot of books. But I always, from a kid, I've always read, so it's good.
That's great.
That's lovely. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.